next part of this lesson deals with the graphs themselves. The first part we're going to do is we're going to write the equation of a line if we're given the graph. So in doing this, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find B, which is where the line crosses the y-axis. In our case here, that is right here, and if I count, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, so that's 5 down, so B is going to be equal to -5. So now our second step is going to be to find another point and count that rise over run, which is, or the change in y over change in x, which as we learned last week is your slope. So if we go ahead and do this, I've got a rise of 1, 2, 3, and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means that our slope is a rise of 3 and a run of 6, which, looking at the graph, it goes uphill from left to right, which lets me know it's positive, and I can simplify this to 1/2. So then our third step is simply going to be to put our m and our b into our y equals mx plus b, which means that y is equal to m, which is 1/2, x plus b, which is -5, so -5. You'll have an opportunity to practice this one in the U-Try problems as well as tomorrow. Our last piece is graphing an equation of a line if we're given the equation. So this one is a little bit more involved, but last week we had you make a table for this. This week we're not going to have you make a table. We want you to be able to recognize the information from the graph. So our first step is going to be to determine m and b. Well, if you recall, when we have y equals mx plus b, that means that we have in front of, for our m, we have this negative sign. And if we recall from way back last term, if there's a negative sign in front, that means that m is going to be -1, or in our case, -1/1, because then we have our rise over our run. Our b, recall, comes after the plus sign, which here is going to be +3. So b equals +3. So then step 2 is going to be, we're going to plot b. It says b is +3, which means that we go up 1, 2, 3, and our b is going to be at 3. Move this up a little bit so it's accurate. And so now we've plotted b, and then our third step is going to be to use m, or our slope, to graph 2 more points. And we want 2 because 2 points will always form a line, but 3 will show if you really truly have a line. So because my slope is -1/1, that means I'm going to go down 1 and forward 1. And that means my next point will be here, and then down 1, forward 1, and my next point will be here. And then finally, we want to connect those dots to form our line. And then we have our points. So what you need to do now is to go ahead and complete these 2 U-Try problems, and then you can check them with me tomorrow and go ahead and write your summary.